my goal will be over the next 30 days to declutter at least 500 items. If I declutter more, I'm gonna be super happy. Let's get started. On this day, I'm working in the laundry room. This is where I keep a lot of my scented items like candles, wax melts. I am trying to reduce the amount of scented items we are using in our home. And on this shelf, I have a lot of pads that go to like the Shark Steam Mop, which I no longer have. Another cleaning thing I no longer have. A luggage set that I got came with these bags. These 2 books I did not read even at Christmas time, so I'm getting rid of those. There's so much stuff on the shelf I've not even been able to dust it. This is a puzzle that we worked that's 420 pieces, some shells from a beach trip almost a year ago, sanitizer, it needs to go in my purse, a receipt. These are some mason jar lids I've been holding on to just in case, but I'm going to let those go now. This is a ramen noodle cooker. I mean, I can just make them in a pot on the stove. One thing about me is I have a major cup addiction. All kinds of cups, glasses, mugs, tumblers. Down here, there are even more glasses. Also, these pieces that came with choppers and various things I felt like I couldn't get rid of just because it came with the tool that I do use, but I don't use these accessories, so they can go. Mugs are harder for me, but I did manage to let go of a couple. Tumblers are even harder for me. I actually got rid of one more that you can't see in this clip. This one's brand new in the box still. These glass ones, I'm trying to not use bamboo lids anymore, so even though they're cute, I let them go. The cool thing about decluttering is you get to find the things that truly give you joy. These are very special family heirlooms and a plant from my grandmother's funeral that I can now display. Dreading tackling this wardrobe. This is where we store our coats and blankets. Recently I decided we are just going to use the quilts that my grandmother made rather than just displaying them. I want to use them. And so I have a lot of these really cute character blankets and such I've decided to part with. I actually found 5 that I could let go. Off camera, I found a little toy and 3 air freshener plugs to get rid of. And in here, I have meal prep containers. I only use 5 at a time generally. As you can see, this drawer will hardly even open, which has been super frustrating for me. So this was a great thing to tackle. I got rid of some bibs, some cookie cutters, this drawer, there was a couple items I could just toss. a character head that she doesn't use on her juice. Also another cup. And I did find some bottle soap cleaner that I no longer use as well. On this day, I chose to work on the toys, starting with some of the stuffed animals. I went through and picked out the things I know my daughter doesn't use, and then I did let her look, and she did confirm that we could get rid of those. And I picked one storage cube to go through, and we got rid of a few of the little things that she doesn't use out of there as well. I hope to reduce her toys by quite a bit. Children do so much better and have much more imaginative play when they're not overwhelmed. They're just like adults. They get overwhelmed too. So I'm trying to pare down what we can on the toys. I knew I had some placemats and a table runner that I don't use, so I decided to grab that as well. I didn't realize when I started on this little green box in this closet that I would be opening up a wormhole and needing to then go declutter other areas of my home that it prompted. But most of this was pillowcases that didn't have the sheets to it. But then I knew that the sheets were on the top of another closet, so I made a mental note that that was going to be my next stop. Most of this I was able to get rid of. I only kept a couple things. It felt really good to clear this out. This is the closet that I knew had all of the sheets and comforters on top of it that I needed to address. I got rid of most of this. For example, that was a twin set. I don't even have a twin size bed anymore. A lot of this was mismatched items that I never use. I didn't do a thorough job on this dresser, but I sort of poked around and got out some items that I knew I no longer wanted. These jeans that no longer fit. I wanted to pare down some of my holiday clothes, which I keep in here. So I got rid of 3 or 4 pairs of leggings. Some of my daughter's shirts that no longer fits was in here. I knew this cabinet had some slippers that I no longer need. I have several pairs of slippers. These are not even donatable. So I tossed those. And there's also a hat and some gloves that I no longer use. This cube has some of my daughter's dress up, costume, pretend play items. This wig, I was so tired of the blonde hair shedding everywhere, and she hardly uses it, so I got rid of it, along with a couple masks. I did decide to tidy up the coffee bar. Several of these items were just needing to be put in their correct homes, but visually it did make this area look a lot cleaner and more tidy. I did manage to donate just a couple items. On this day, I decided to tackle the fridge. I tried to stay pretty on top of making sure we use up items and getting rid of anything expired or things we can't use. But to my surprise, there were a few items I was able to get rid of that either needed tossed or I found new homes for. I've been putting off off decluttering this because it makes me sad, but my daughter's not used teethers in almost 2.5 years, and I still have these in my fridge. So it was time for them to go. I have a 3-year-old, and to me, one of the biggest motivating factors, I feel like you have to have some sort of motivation. My daughter is my motivation, and I value our time together, and the things in this house that I'm having to manage and take care of are stealing my time. So there'll be times where she says, Mommy, let's do this, or look at this, and I'm too busy having to take care of all the things, and I don't like that. So that is my motivation. I don't know that I can ever become a true minimalist, but I feel like I could strive to be much more minimal than I am and have an amount of things that I can manage and doesn't take all of my time away from my daughter. So that's my inspiration. Here I am loading the donations into the trunk. I decided while I was out here I'll go ahead and declutter a couple items I knew that I could part with that's inside of my car. I've been trying to do a much better job about taking trash and things into the home as I get back from each trip, but things, inevitably still get left behind that can either be tossed or find a new home. Now I decided to tackle the junk drawer. I have been avoiding it like the plague, but I get in here every day, so it was time to clean it out. I noticed that I have 3 lighters. I only need 1, so I'm going to part with 2 of those. These wooden toothpicks have spilled out in the drawer. I use these for checking to make sure my desserts are cooked all the way through, so I need to put all of those back in this little container. And with the koozies, we've probably gotten rid of at least 8 of those, and there was still 3 more in this drawer to part with. Another thing I found funny is I wanted a box of matches, and for whatever reason, the only way I could purchase these from the store was to buy this giant pack that had all of these boxes, and I really just need 1 to 2 boxes of them. I hardly ever use matches. So I'm going to part with all of the extra. I am a big fan of Dana K. White's no mess cleaning method, where as you're organizing and decluttering, if there are items that go elsewhere in your home, you take them there right now. I've been very guilty in the past of starting a box of items that are needing to go to their proper homes, and then that box just sits forever and ends up becoming clutter. Another issue I have found in these drawers is that I have a tendency to hang on to all the little extra tools and screws and pieces that come with cabinets and such that you buy, and really there's no need in hanging on to those. I have held on to the most random things, obviously. And this AirTag, I have been searching for it, and it was in the store all along. I also decided to clean my purse out. I grabbed items that go elsewhere. For this challenge, it is ideal if you make some sort of a chart, label it days 1 through 30. If you do this for 30 days, you will declutter 465 items. Of course, I'm shooting to declutter even more than that, but I happen to have these popsicle sticks laying around, so I just wrote on them, and I'm going to circle in pink the amount of items I declutter each day. You don't have to go in order. In fact, it's best if you're motivated to knock out the big days first. For me personally, I am skipping around because I know that life happens. For example, my daughter got sick, so I had to skip a day of decluttering. So it's okay to skip around and get the amount of items that you can as you can get them, as long as you reach your goal by the end of the 30 days. I was very pleased by the time I tallied up all the numbers to see that in 6 days of decluttering, I got rid of 307 items. Come back and join me next week. We'll see how much we can declutter together again. Thanks, friends. Bye.